behind the camera today because the Don Morris walk we're taking you yet again is a lot more charming than my ugly mug, so here we are. I'll apologize right now because it's kind of windy out because the massive storms that blew through last weekend are still kind of exiting surely but slowly. So there was a huge set of massive coastal storms that went all up and down the coast of New South Wales, and actually caused a lot of damage in some areas. I know up at a place called Kempsey, which is a couple hours north of where I am, a bridge got yanked down. It was a footbridge, so it wasn't a massive highway thing, but it was a bridge spanning over a river, and because of all the rain and everything else, it got swept away. So that happened. And then on Sunday, I tried to go hiking. I was actually going to take you guys with, do a little vlog on the trail, thought it'd be cool. But I actually got stopped at a station called Gosford, which was about six stations up from where I wanted to be. And got stopped because down the tracks there was a couple trees down and a massive chunk of flooding where the tracks were just underwater. So I got turned around, so that kind of stunk. But anyway, that massive storm got over, and I actually did get to go hiking later this week, actually just yesterday, with Jay and Gabby. We went down to a place called Mount Ku-ring-gai National Park. We got off at a train station called Berowra. It's a weird name. Anyway, and then hiked south down to the town called Mount Ku-ring-gai, got on the train there, came back up. And that was a lot of fun. It was some really pretty scenery. And overall, really good time. I'm planning on doing actually some more hikes. I believe next week I'm supposed to go to, it's called the Glenrock Conservation Area. It's a reasonably sized park that's in Newcastle. Not very reachable from where I'm at, unfortunately, which is why I've never been. And then there's actually a section of what's called the Great North Walk that's also south and also on some train stations I'm going to be doing a different week. And then additionally, one last thing I want to do before I leave is spend a big long day at the beach, just doing a bunch of sand sculptures, stuff like that. Just really enjoy the beach one last time before I leave, since, Iowa doesn't exactly have a lot of beaches. Anyway, should note that it's actually getting cooler, so the storms are winter storms, / I guess technically autumn storms, given, what time of year it is, but right now I'm wearing a fleece. Everyone else is, I'm fleece and jeans, and I'm comfortable. Everyone else is bundling up, winter coats are coming out, scarves are going on, so Australia is not always warm. Anyway, so stuff that's been going on. So I got a big bulk solids project back, so the bulk solids course, the movement and mechanics and materials of moving large quantities of raw ore places. How do we move a lot of stuff? And it's a little bit windy. Oops, sorry, I was trying to shade the microphone, but I actually don't know where it is. That's awkward. I'll do that again. Anyway, sorry. So got a big project back for that. It was the one where I had to design a pneumatic conveying system. Basically, I had to design a system of tubes that, using air, pushed raw material through at a bunch of different parameters. And I got a 23 out of 25 on that, which, if I can do the math real fast, that's what, an 80... 92? Is that a 92? 23 times 4. Or 2, yeah. 92. Okay, cool. So that's actually an A. Wow. I hope I did that right. Someone in the comments tell me if I did that right, because I'm trying to do that in my head right now. It's not cooperating. 23, 23, 6, 46, 46, 2. Okay, that's 92. Okay, so I got an A on that, which is a little bit unusual. Not too crazy unusual for the record, but talking to other Australians and looking up online, A's are a little bit uncommon, comparatively speaking. But that's okay. I'm really happy I got an A. I actually have my first exam is next week, for the record. So today did it again. I already recorded this once. I'm doing it again. Anyway, just for the record, today is June 9th, it's Thursday, it's a little bit past noon, and next Friday, June 17th, I have my bulk solids exam, and that's worth 60% of my grade. That's a little terrifying, honestly, just because that's so much writing on it, and it's, but there's some things to not be so worried about. I get an equation, I get not only an equation sheet, but I have unlimited notes. I have 3 hours to do it. I have a bunch of practice problems that I've not only been doing, but I get to then bring with me. So it is a little bit worrying, but I think I'll make it through. In some ways, I'm almost more worried about my renewable energy exam, which is the week after. It's the 22nd, which I believe is a Wednesday, because I only get a single equation sheet that they provide, so I don't get to make my own. No notes, and it's a brand new exam. It's a brand new class, so they probably don't know how to calibrate the exam very well. My professor suggested some practice problems, however there are no answers, and while I will still do them, it's a lot less helpful when you don't have a way of knowing if you're right or not. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, I am optimistic. but just a little bit concerned. So, now that it's officially June, yes, a pretty good place to measure it. Now that it's officially June, classes are over for everybody, so everyone has been quite well-versed, so that's been a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, every time someone finishes an exam, it's, let's go get blind, and I'm like, maybe later. But it's a lot of fun to see everyone having fun, to hear all the stories and stuff like that later. Been hanging out with actually a bunch of people lately, which is kind of nice. And, you know, right before I leave, I'm finally able to socialize a bit more because I'm not always studying. I'm not sure if I mentioned the last one. I'm actually picking up, basically picking up 3 languages. Relearning Spanish, just because I know my grasp has slipped, although I'm picking that up really, really fast. Repicking up German from last summer, and then also teaching myself French using Duolingo. I didn't mention that last time. Okay, so I'm still doing that. There we go. That's the thing we can say. I'm still doing that. Goodness, don't know how good the mic is, but stuff's blowing around and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm still doing that, keeping myself busy. Whoa, big breeze. In case you can't hear me, I'll be a little quieter. Okay, there we go. Because there's nothing worse than trying to listen to someone talk through the wind. Anyway, so I'm still keeping myself busy. Unfortunately, I'm starting to look a little bit more forward coming home. Like, it used to just be, you know, oh, okay, home won't be that bad. But unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I'm really lucky to be here, and I really do love this country, but I'm starting to look forward a little bit, just because it'll be nice to get back to work, see some familiar faces, and feel more like I'm working on my future. Probably mentioned that last time, but guess what? It's still happening. Overall, I'm in good spirits, though, before you think I'm sad and depressed, but overall, I'm in good spirits. So, a bunch of stuff's been happening with that job. I think last time I mentioned I was supposed to have an interview with them or whatever. Can't remember if that was the 4 a.m. thing, but at one point, I got up at 4 a.m. Got up at 4 a.m. to have an interview with somebody, and he turned up sick. Which bothered me, but, you know, you can't control when you're sick. But I will say that I called pretty late in the day, and there's no way I'm the only one he had to talk to. And I didn't get an email or a phone call or anything. So, you know, what if I had, you know, set up an interview with them in person and showed up and, oh, by the way, you just wasted all your time because no one decided to contact you. But you know what? I'm over it. No, was a little bit bothered then. I actually got a hold of him a couple days later. They want me to talk to a guy named Ryan Sorensen. And this week, they're supposed to get back to me as to whether or not I'm going to get the job, because we had like a really mini short interview, which is a little bit weird. I was expecting it to be longer, but he also had an appointment to get to, so that's the thing. But point is, this week I'm supposed to hear back as to whether or not I have that custodian job, where I'll be basically picking up and fixing up apartments for Campus Town from mid-July to like mid-August, give or take. When I talked to him, he made it sound like he wanted me to continue like through the school year. Not sure how keen I am on that, I'll be honest. I have my teaching assistant position all ready to go. I'd like to get back into that tour guide thing that I was doing last fall semester, just because it'd be good to have more relevant stories to talk about at the, you know, for interviews and things like that. I also remembered that if I get really, really desperate, the tour guide people that I worked for, they're part of the engineering department. Volunteers go and they give tours of the engineering department to prospective students. Sorry. I can always work for them again. They always hire over the summer, and I bet they'd take me on. It would only be like 2 days a week, and the pay wouldn't be very good, but that's okay. I mean, I'll be honest, the more I think about like going back and getting a job, almost the less excited I am about it, especially because that custodian job, I talked to him about the hours, and it's like 9-hour days plus weekend, like plus at least 1 day a weekend. Which is long and tiresome. I'd make a lot of money, comparatively speaking, especially for given how short a period I'd be employed. But, you know, it is my last summer free. You know, my last summer before I actually go to work. And there's a part of me that would kind of like to take it easy, especially because now that I'd be back in the States, I'd be able to do a lot of stuff. So I want to take up graffiti art. I want to do like a ton more writing. I really want to really get down my exercise routine and stuff like that. And it'd be nice to get really fit. Do a lot more artwork, do some recording, do all kinds of stuff. And yeah, if I'm working 9-hour days plus, you know, a 9-hour weekend, it'd be a little bit tough. But you know what? We'll see what happens. I can always say no. I can always say no later. And overall, I would rather get the job than be denied, because I can always quit if I get really stressed and I'm over it. Anyway, so other stuff. So I mentioned I went hiking yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to a very fancy dinner with a buddy of mine. Not a chick, don't get excited. Him and I decided that, you know what? We're in Australia, let's go treat ourselves to a really nice dinner. We're going to some like fancy Brazilian steakhouse. It's $50 a head. So that'll be expensive, but I think it'll be a really good time. It'll be a great way to spend a Friday night, honestly. I'm very excited for that. I think I mentioned, yeah, I'm gonna go down. I'm not sure if I mentioned it already. I'm already losing my mind apparently. But if I didn't, a couple more trips I want to do. At one point I want to go down to the beach, spend all day on the beach, do some scan sculptures, stuff like that. That'll be fun. And another time take another train down south to another conservation area and do a bunch of hiking over there. It's really cliff notes you need to know for that one. Trying to think of other stuff, and unfortunately I ain't got much. Oh, one last thing. Had a pretty good time last Saturday. Woke up really early and taped my roommate Matt into his room. So originally, I was going to go to a Home Depot equivalent, it's called Bunnings Warehouse, and get some caution tape, and caution tape up his door frame, so when he opened up his door, all he would see is caution tape. That's what he would open his door to. Well, I couldn't find the caution tape, so instead I went to a dollar store and bought black and yellow party streamers, and then taped those all up in his door frame, so he opened his door and saw black and yellow, caution tape party streamer looking things. And that was pretty good, overall. He got a kick out of it, at least at first, and I don't know, I think he wanted to put on a show for everyone, so then he acted all bothered and butthurt about it later, which, I don't know, little annoying to deal with, because you thought this was really funny this morning, and were telling me good job and stuff, but now you're acting like it's not cool, so, I don't know. Well, he's lying to somebody, but you know what, I get over it. Last couple things, so since today is the 9th, assuming I can do math right, I believe I have 17-ish more days before I head back. Tried to figure out some stuff at the New Zealand airport, if I'm allowed to leave or not. Didn't find anything that gives me a lot of confidence, so I'll probably be calling them sometime later this week, maybe next week, figure out what the deal is. If I could leave the airport, because I'm there for 16 hours, if I could leave the New Zealand airport, that'd be great. I think the Botanic Gardens is a taxi ride away. Not exactly a cheap taxi ride, but a taxi ride nonetheless. So that'd be nice. Got to close out a bunch of bank accounts and phone things. That's coming up in the next couple weeks. And yeah, everything's just wrapping up. I'm here for barely 2 more weeks, and I'll be going home. Gosh, so there's not that many of these left. There'll probably be a small spurt of them when I get back, or when I'm heading back. I'll probably do a vlog when I'm in New Zealand, just whether or not I leave the airport, and I'll probably do one in Houston or something when I'm sitting chilling, just because I can. Anyway, I think that's all I got. So super Cliff Notes version. School's going well. I got some projects back and stuff that make me really excited because I did really well on them. Exams are coming up. I'm mostly optimistic, though a little bit concerned because they're worth so much of my grade. Went on a hike this week and that was fun. I'm planning on more hikes in the future, and I believe I have one next week that I'm going with some people. Going to a fancy dinner tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun because I do enjoy my fancy dinners. And job stuff is still on the horizon because people are bad at getting back to me. But you know what? I'm over it. Anyway, guys, thanks a ton for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked it, leave a like. If you're just discovering me, you should totally subscribe because a few more of these are coming up. And yeah, thanks a ton for watching, everybody. Goodbye.